HRN listeners. As we celebrate our 15th year, we are deepening our commitment to giving voice to the next generation of food systems storytellers, and we need your help. Our internship and fellowship programs help activate new possibilities for underrepresented and underestimated young people through experiential journalism, audio engineering, and production training. Through these unique programs, HRN helps food equity stewards build essential workforce readiness skills that expand their potential and foster economic mobility. Please consider supporting these critical programs. And with a minimum donation, you can be entered to win a dinner for two at an amazing restaurant in one of 8 cities and tickets to a concert at a great venue in one of those cities. We have incredible partners across the country who have donated, as they also share our passion for helping to educate the next generation of food systems storytellers. Check out heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. That's heritageradionetwork.org/15 to donate and enter to win today. And make sure you donate before March 31st. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Heritage Radio Network on Tour. I'm Ethan Frisch, co-host of Why Food here on HRN, and we're recording at the Good Food Mercantile in Brooklyn. I am sitting with Ari Miller, who's the chef, founder, culinary force behind Musi, a new restaurant in Philly. Ari, thanks for joining us.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
So tell us the story. What is Musi and how did you come to open it?
So Musi is a 30-seat BYO restaurant in Pensport, Philadelphia. It is serving relationship cuisine. Relationship cuisine is, do you want me to hold this? All right, cool. Relationship cuisine is sort of the expression of the meaningful relationships that I get to have, that the restaurant gets to have, that chefs in general get to have with the people that bring their spices into this country, that make their cheese, that raise our grain and crops and animals and butcher those animals and malt the grain. And then how we translate that relationship onto the plate to give to our guests and have it be a meaningful experience for them.
In keeping with the theme of Why Food, which is about people who've changed careers, you changed careers to work in food. You had a career in journalism. Tell us about that and tell us about how you made the switch.
So I did start out in journalism. I was a freelance writer. I moved to Israel after I graduated from college. I had been writing in college, and when I got to Israel, I was freelancing. As is the onset of any freelancer career, I wrote for free, exploited well and good for some nice publications, and made my way up to writing features for magazines. I was even translated into Hebrew for some, features for some major Israeli publications. But I was writing sort of social politics, that sort of stuff, and it was just, starting to weigh on me pretty heavily. I was actually when the second Iraq War was sort of in its infancy, I was planning a trip to Iraq and just had a little bit of a, I don't know if crisis is the right word, but revelation, whatever it is, that I couldn't go out seeking this part of the world, and that this existence wasn't going to be for me. So I transitioned into writing for arts and entertainment. I started writing about opera and all sorts of things like that, and food amongst them. So eventually it came to me spending a year as the food writer for one of the major English language newspapers in Israel. And when the newspaper collapsed as part of its sort of decrepit moralitude, and as the world economy collapsed, I got laid off. I actually got laid off because the CEO asked me to stop paying my writers, and I told her I wouldn't do that, and I was fired the next day. And I got a month's severance, and I took it to my leisure and found myself in this little deli in Tel Aviv that no longer exists, but it was connected to this restaurant that is this very well-renowned restaurant called the Basta, and I asked about working in this deli. I'd wandered in for a bottle of wine and a loaf of bread, and it was like one of those moments where you're just like overwhelmed with sight, sound, smell. All your sensations are just like, firing, like keep me here. And I asked if I could like work for them, and they're like, show up tomorrow, and I did. And eventually their deli got shut down because it was built illegally in their storage closet. Although I still don't understand how their storage closet had a sink, but never mind that. And I remember having a moment where I was getting ready for work, and I was, popped in the bathroom just to like wash my face, and I'm staring at myself in the mirror for a second, and I just thought to myself, this is your career now. Like this is what you're doing, in a way where it was like, this is a good thing, and I just sort of never looked back. I ended up in this small little kitchen that was connected to the, right off of the Carmel Market. I didn't know how to hold a knife at the time, and I would show up in the morning, and they would hand me a wad of cash, send me to the market, and be like, make a menu happen. And I guess sort of that transition from journalism to cooking was it was seamless in terms of, it was my friends and we all sat at the bar as journalists, trying to figure out the fucked up world we live in as journalists, and the cooks were at the table one over. So that was seamless. And then it's about storytelling. We told stories as journalists, and we tried to tell them truthfully. I think we tried to tell them in a way that was genuine to our background and our voice, without tainting the integrity of the ingredients of the story. And I think cooking is the same thing. It's you come at it with your background, you come at it with your unique vision and perspective, and the warped way in which you view the world, and then that's sort of the base from which you stand on, and then you try not to taint the integrity of the ingredient. It's why I love it. It's just storytelling. That's it.
So what stories are you telling with your food? What dishes are you serving, and what does that represent?
I think I like telling the story of the, I don't know how to best phrase this, but the ugly duckling. Me and a lot of my staff, we were all like the introverted, nerdy kids in high school. We grew up sort of a little uncomfortable in our own skin. And I love the ingredients that are not the popular kids. I love working with fifth quarter. I love working, with the things that are less expected. It's, for example, you import spices, and I get to work with these great products. And as I was telling you earlier, we make a little meringue for our check drop with the black lime. And it comes out tasting like country time lemonade. And it's this crazy thing where we take these like pastured egg whites with raw sugar and this beautiful black lime, and somehow or another it conspires to be this nostalgic memory that a lot of us have of this ingredient that's pretty trashy. And you get to watch people sort of pop it in their mouth and be like, whoa, and then they have a little giggle, and it's neat. Like, it sort of suspends their interaction with the hard parts of the world and just takes them immediately to a place where they're just a kid again for a second, or they're just like caught off guard in a way where they forget that they have to have some wall up in some fashion.
I think one of the things that strikes me about your food is the simplicity of it. A lot of chefs talk about, simple flavors, not overdoing it. And I think most chefs have a lot of trouble actually doing that. It's easy to talk about it and hard to do it in a way that feels complex on the plate, feels captivating. And you do it exceptionally well. It's like, I guess what I'm asking, how do you do that? No, I mean, I guess the question is, how do you structure a menu? How do you conceive a restaurant around that combination of simplicity and complexity?
First, I think that there's, again, overlap between my first career and my second career. It's editing. You have to write a story that's 350 words, but you have 500 words to say, you figure out which words to take out, because, otherwise your story doesn't get told. And then it's also in part, I think it's just circumstance that we try to do a lot with a small staff and with important ingredients. So, we work, with a company in Philly called Primal Supply. All the meat is pastured PA meat. We use some of their offcuts to control cost, but at the same time, we don't want to get in the way of this beautiful product. So, we add a great olive oil to it. We add a little bit of salt to it. Maybe a spice and an herb, and we call it a day. Like, it's like if we have these beautiful products, I think it was best explained to me once in terms of how Italians cook. They have 3 ingredients. You have 3 beautiful ingredients. Like be happy with that. I'd much rather have 3 gorgeous ingredients than like 15 mediocre ingredients. And in part it's laziness, right? Like 3 is easier than 15. So you're sort of just like, great, the dish is done. And, thank goodness it comes together well.
What was the process of opening the restaurant like?
It's still happening. We're 5 months in. The process is good. It really is life itself. It's beautiful and it's horrible. We have sorrows and we have success, and we've had a disproportionate amount of attention being paid to us, and like that's amazing, and I have no problem with this. This is like really a good thing. But so people come in and they're either they might be in love with the food, or they might be put off by the fact that we're in a little shoebox spot in South Philly as a first restaurant put together by a bunch of friends who scraped some cash. Like, it is what it is, and I think we pour a lot of heart and soul and love into it, and it it's like a kid, right? We love it, and it drives us mad.
We're here at the Good Food Mercantile. What brings you here? Why are you interested in what's happening at the Good Food Mercantile?
I'm here quite specially. I don't know if that's the word, but there's a woman who does our custom linens, our napkins, our recycled button-down shirts, our kitchen aprons, our salvaged vintage linen. So this woman, Heidi, whose company is called the Kitchen Garden Series, is actually here with a table repping herself. And she got a couple extra tickets to bring some friends. And she brought me and my business partner, Nicole. And then we walked into this space and, we see you and Ori. We see Vincent from Enzo Olive Oil, who is our house olive oil. And I didn't realize he was going to be here. And, Chris Curtin from Eclat Chocolate, who is one of my food heroes, who is out of Westchester, PA. And it's pretty wild to walk into this space and immediately be part of a community, and not having planned for that, but realizing that this community of people with integrity, of working with ingredients with integrity and trying to do things well and right and with meaning and intention, that it's just a good thing. You can walk into it and it welcomes you, and it's here for you.
Where can our listeners find out more about your restaurant? Where are you located? Can they just drop in for dinner?
I love this question. So we're located in South Philadelphia, the corner of Front and Morris Street, 100 Morris. Our website is musiphilly.com. On Instagram, we're musiphilly. And yeah, come and eat. You can make a reservation. You can walk in. We're open Thursday through Sunday. We do a special cheesesteak pop-up the first Monday of every month. We make this ridiculous cheesesteak made with all real ingredients, all from Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. It's a cheesesteak that doesn't make you sick. We always do it with a brewery. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, we're open Thursday through Sunday.
Cool. All right, thanks for joining me. I'm Ethan Frisch, co-host of Why Food on Heritage Radio Network. This is Heritage Radio Network on tour at the Good Food Mercantile. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.